Hello, guys and gals. How's it going? I just came back from a short trip to Las Vegas. It is interesting to say the least. There's a lot of good things that go on there, but there's also a lot of things that I've noticed because I've been down there, and last time I was there was 2005, and I noticed some big changes since then. Maybe it's just me. I don't know, but there's some things that are kind of frightening to me, and I'm going to discuss them, so stick around.
And now we interrupt, disrupt, and crash this station.
The man fighting for peace, his legacy, truth in a sea of stupid.
Filtered for your sarcastic enjoyment, Ghost Getter.
First of all, I'm going to say the good side of it. There are a lot of good places to eat, a lot of places to go where you don't have to deal with the debauchery, so to speak. And I've been to quite a few places there that were really good to eat, things that you could really see that were interesting. Not all of it's on the Strip. A lot of it's off the Strip. There's other places you can go. Chef Ramsay, Gordon Ramsay, has restaurants that are affordable, so you can go there. And there's other like downtown in Fremont, there's places you can see down there and go that are not so expensive. A lot of these hotels and places like that have things for free, so on and so forth. There's just, it's interesting. There's so many places you can go and do. Now, to get into trouble is much easier than it is to not get into trouble. I guess that's the whole point of Las Vegas. Great thing about it is, what's interesting more than great, it's just interesting, is the media tends to cover more of the entertainment side than they do the news, which is very strange. When you watch TV, it's a lot different there. The stories they talk about than they do in your local areas. They do cover more entertainment, and that's understandable. Because there are so many people there that entertain, from magic shows to musicians to actors to comedians to you name it, they have there. And of course, you can go see all those people. There are so many things to do, and now they have sports such as hockey and soon to be football and all that. Just walking around, seeing the fountains and just taking a walk and looking at the lights and just all kinds of things are great. That's what's so interesting about it. But now the debauchery side of it, what's so scary, to me, it's like, if you look at the past, and we're going to talk about this in two parts. This is part one. If you look at the past similarities between the history and what they've talked about Rome and the United States, you kind of see how it fell according to history and how it fell according to the Bible, and cities like that in the Bible. Not so much as that one, but cities like that in the Bible that you hear about and in history. It kind of, if you know somewhat stories about it, or if you're an expert at it, or you just know, like me, I see things that are pretty saddening. I spent more time in Las Vegas looking around at things that were going on rather than paying more attention to just having fun and kicking back and just enjoying a vacation. I was paying attention to so many things that it was just, and I wanted to document them all, and I wanted to put them on YouTube, and I will show you much about them, but later on, because I plan on hopefully going there next year, and I think next year when I go, I'm going to actually document what I'm talking about in this video. That way I'll be more prepared and show you what was going on, or what is going on. But there's just so much of it. It's not even funny. There's so many things that you just shake your head at. There's obscene things. There's lust, prostitution. There's theft. There's fraud. There's drugs legalized now. Prostitution, they made it easy and legal now. Definitely gambling, made it legal now. You name it, they have it there. Plus the obscenities that they have there that you just don't know if you want to take your children. The F word is just sprawled out everywhere, and signs and all that. And people don't care. Even I've seen homeless people standing there with signs that said the F-U word on it, and he's standing there flipping people off. So many different obscene things. And people gotten to the point now where they just don't care what they see, don't care what they do, and don't care how they do it. And that's how this city is now. And it's frightening to think that what's going to happen in the next 10 years in this society, in this area. And this is probably one of those cities where you say to yourself, this is X marks the spot as one of those places where you find your reasons why. God will give you a reason why. You see this and you'll say to yourself, this is the down home reason why, so many bad things are coming. Because if people just let themselves go in so many different ways. First of all, there's driving up and down the strip, there are trucks. They have these lighted TV signs on the back. They're huge signs. And they're lighted at night. During the day it's not, but at night it's like a TV screen on them. And they're advertising prostitution. They're advertising girls that you can call and pick up and bring to wherever you are. Okay, that's one of the things I noticed. And there are so many of them. I mean, they're everywhere. Okay, it used to be they would advertise it on the street, but I don't see as much of it anymore. There's been a few times where I've almost been pickpocketed. I noticed that. I've also noticed that, like I was saying, the signs of people holding up that were just, disgusting. And if you have any children, it's not great to have. Of course, that's they legalized prostitution, as you know, so they made that okay to do. Now it's marijuana is legal, so they made that okay to do. So you smell it everywhere. I mean, there isn't a day that goes by or a couple of hours that go by where you're going to be smelling it all the time, or people are going to be smoking it all the time. And of course, you don't want to be a part of that, whether it's legal or not. If it's something you don't want, it's going to be around you, whether you like it or not. So that's, of course, the gambling is legal now. Even the weird stuff. I've seen beer pong at gambling casinos. That, and it's not so much as that, it's so much as people saying it's okay to do it now. We can get away with whatever we want to. That should be the slogan now for Vegas. Vegas, we can get away with whatever we want. Except for murder, which I don't know about, but they pretty much allow that now. Not murder, but everything else is pretty much allowed. So people are dressed almost half naked half the time. That's common. Can't go by without seeing anything like that. And it's cold outside, so they don't apparently care. So that's everywhere. People will bug you to death. That's for sure. So many people trying to get you to buy this and get you to buy that and spend your money here and spend your money there. I mean, as soon as you get off the plane, there's slot machines everywhere. And I have nothing against the slot machines, because I go and play the penny slots. I do it for entertainment. And, I do other things. Not the ones I've mentioned, but there are other things. The Hoover Dam's only an hour away. That we've already done. So that's kind of cool. And it's pretty interesting to go see. So there are things to do, and there are things that you wouldn't do, but it's just so much of it is in your face. It's not even funny, and it's allowed. It's so much. It's people are going around thinking to themselves, "It's okay now. If it's legal around here, it must be illegal everywhere else. It's okay now. We can get away with whatever we want to." So my point is, who knows what's going to happen in 10 years when they say, "What else can we get away with?" Because it isn't enough. Gambling wasn't enough. So, we legalized that and it's okay now. So maybe we can get away with prostitution. Well, that's okay now. We can get away with that. So maybe we can get away with drugs now. Hey, that's okay now. We can get away with that. So there are so many things. And, the people staying around with FU signs and all that stuff. And, it's okay now. We can get away with that. And it's just so many different things going on. And what gets me is the billions and the millions and billions of dollars worth of hotels and expensive things above your head and all that money flowing. And then right below it, there's homeless people standing there broke, starving, right there on the sidewalk in front of all those millions of dollars. People just walking by them like they're just there. So I seen this thing, and I want to show you. It's actually quite interesting. It's the similarities between the United States and Rome, and around the time that Rome fell, that I saw that was quite interesting, because this is one of the things that is scary, but it's actually interesting. It's really, really one of those things I was into, but it's, one of those things where I said, how frightening is this? I seen this thing here. It's the 210 Reasons for the Fall of Rome. This was a website from the Spectre UK, July 12th, 2003. Peter Jones. It was posted in a Constitutionalist Conservative. But it was written by a, let's see, who was it? It was written by Dements der Falls, Rome. It was written in 1984, a list of 210 reasons for the fall of the Roman Empire, from Professor Alexander Dements der Falls, Rome. I guess that's how they said. Greek Romans love lists from tables of persons eminent in every branch of learning, together with its lists of their writings, to words suspected of not having been used by the ancients. In the same spirit, this column will over the next 2 weeks published by Professor Alexander Dements. In 1984, he wrote this. Now, some of it I don't agree with, because you'll get the idea. But my point is, there are so many similarities of this. It's frightening, and we're seeing it today. A lot of people, and I'll tell you how here in a second. Trying to fix this, but okay. Anyway, abolition of gods. Today, we're not even bothering with more of religious groups. People are leaving religions and going away from God, and there's so many people and shows and everything and news reports attacking religions. Some of them are well-deserved because they're false religions, but they blame God for everything. It's always God's fault. And the more they try to eliminate God from everything, especially, it's something you do not see ever in Vegas. So this is 210 Reasons Why Rome Fell. So this is Rome, okay? So you can see the similarities between here and there. Abolition of rights, which is happening here now. Absence of character. Oh, definitely. That is more more apparent than ever. Character is just totally disappearing all over this country. And you can see it in our politicians as well. These are supposed to be people of high standards, and they just completely lost it. They're like children now. And some of them come up with things that are just way over the top and frankly stupid. Even children can come up with better ideas than that. And I'm not going to read you them all because there's so many of them. But you can see it. Some of it's stupid, like agrarian slavery. I don't even know what that is. Anarchy, truth, anti-Germanism. I don't know what that means. Apathy, aristocracy. I can't read that word. Ascensionism, attacks by Germans, attacks by Huns, attacks by nomads on horseback, beweirdness and backwardness in science, very true. Bankruptcy, true. Barbarization, bastardization, blockage of land by large landholders. Does that sound familiar? Blood poisoning, sound familiar? Bolshevism, bread and circuses. I don't know what that is. Bureaucracy, capitalism. No, change of capitals, caste systems, celibacy, centralization, childlessness. True. Christianity, which is pretty much, you can take the good and you can take the bad, but the bad is getting worse. Citizenship, granting of, somehow they're, when we get this argument about letting the border walls and not letting the border walls and things like that, there's more of that going on than ever before. Civil war, climate deterioration. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Communism, complacency, cantonation of misfortunes, conservatism, corruption, cosmopolitanism, crisis of legitimacy, colorless excess, cultural neurosis, decline of Nordic character, decline of the cities, decline of the italic population, deforestation, degeneration of intellect, demoralization, depletion of mineral resources, These are killing me. Depletion of mineral resources, destruction of environment, destruction of peasantry, destruction of political process, destruction of Roman influence, devastation, differences in wealth, disarmament, dissolution with state, division of empire, division of labor, earthquakes, egoism of state, emancipation of slaves, which, I don't know. This is Rome. Epidemics, equal rights granting of, the argument over, that can go real far, and that cannot be enough. So it comes around both sides, but either way, it depends on what they meant at the time. Eradication of the best. That's true. That, anyone's out there now, if you get the best or the wealthiest out of working out of his tail end to get it, he's a terrible person. Escapism, I don't know what that is. Ethnic disillusion. Excessive aging of population. Excessive civilization. Excessive culturalism. Excessive foreign infiltration, which is a big argument today. Excessive freedom, allowing anybody to do anything they want, anytime they want to, anywhere they want to. Sounds like Vegas. Excessive urbanization, expansion, exploitation, fear of life, which is a huge problem today. Female emancipation, it's Rome. Fraudulalism, fascism, gladiatorial system, gluttony, there's one, gout, hedonism, Hellenization, heresy, homosexuality, hothouse culture, hubris, hyperthermia. I don't know where they got hypothermia, but it's Rome, like I said. Immoderate greatness, imperialism, impotence, impoverishment, imprudent policy toward buffered states, inadequate education system. Sound familiar? Indifference, individualism. This is starting to sound too familiar compared to our country today. Indoctrination, inertia, inflation, intellectualism, integration, weakness of, irrationality, Jewish influence. Rome. Lack of leadership, lack of male dignity, lack of military recruits. Sound familiar? Lack of orderly imperial succession. Now, lack of military recruits. I just heard on the radio the other day that the military is begging people to join because they're so behind on people joining the military today. They're doing whatever they can to get people to join. They're very, very weak in that area right now. Lack of qualified workers, lack of rainfall, lack of religiousness, believe it or not, lack of seriousness. This is Alexander Demont list of 210 reasons why the Roman Empire fell in 1984. Large landed properties, lead poisoning, lethargy, leveling culture, leveling social, loss of army discipline, problem today, loss of authority, problem today, loss of energy, problem today, loss of instincts, problem today, loss of population, too much of it today, luxury, big deal today, malaria, marriages of convenience, very true, mercenary system, marriage of convenience would be something out of Hollywood, mercenary or mercury damage, material or militarism, monetary economy, monetary greed, money shortage of, moral discipline, moral idealism, moral materialism, mystery religions, big problem today, nationalism of Rome's subjects, negative selection, orientalization. It sounded like this guy had a big racism problem too. But they're talking about Rome. Outflow of gold, over-refinement, pacifism, paralysis of will, paralyzation, parasitism, particularism, pauperism, plagues, pleasure seeking, seeking pleasure more than seeking God, plutocracy, pyrrhotism, population pressure, pre-conscious professional army. I don't know what that is. Proletariation. I can't even read that. Prosperity, prostitution, psychosis, public baths, racial degeneration, racial discrimination, racial suicide, rationalism, refusal of military service, religious struggles and skepticism and schism, rential mentality, resignation, restriction to profession, restriction of the land, rhetoric, rise of uneducated masses, that is true, romantic attitudes to peace, ruin of middle class, rule of the world, semi-education, sensuality, servility, sexuality, shamelessness, shifting of trade routes, slavery, Slavic attacks, socialism of the state, social tensions, soil erosion, soil exhaustion, spiritual barbarism, stagnation, stress, structural weakness, superstition, taxation, pressure of terrorism. There you go. Tiredness of life, suicidal thoughts. There you go. Totalitarianism, treason, big problem. Tristices, I don't know what that is. Two-front war, underdevelopment. Some of these haven't even happened yet. Useless diet, but it's coming. Vain gloriousness, big problem. Villa economy and vulgarism. So there you have it. There you have it. That's a lot, I know, but there you have it. And that's just scratching the surface of some of the things that I've seen over the years. Now, when you look into the history, now go check it out for yourself. You look at the history of the Roman Empire. how the economy was similar to ours, how their government was almost similar to ours, how their citizens worked, how they had the poor, the middle class, and the rich, how prostitution was allowed, how certain the ways, even the military and the way they were set up, so many things were similar. It's frightening. And then you see stories of the Bible and how some lands fell and some cities fell and things like that. All kinds of different things that were going on. You see how Moses threw the tablets on the people that are acting with debauchery and all kinds of things that are going on. If you even watch the Ten Commandments, you can see what they're doing. You can almost see the same thing when you go in Vegas. You see so many of this similarities, and then as you're looking at that, and you go into the stories of that, and you go into Las Vegas, and you're kind of looking around, you're thinking about it, you're saying to yourself, my goodness, this is all about to end for these people. It's all about to end for all of us soon. And it is pretty frightening how loose this has gotten, how politics have gotten so loose with the ways, the disrespect for themselves, the disrespect for society, the disrespect for each other, the more intelligent people that act less intelligent, the more people that they don't even try to hide it anymore. People don't even care, even laws to be kept, not even care about keeping the laws anymore, not even care about stopping the law breaking anymore. They just let everything loose, and no one seems to want to stop it anymore. The disrespect for authority, the disrespect for people trying to help, the disrespect for our first responders, the disrespect for our police officers, our military, the disrespect for each other, the hatred we have toward each other. The most disgusting things that I see coming out of Facebook now when it comes to abortions and things that are being allowed. We're allowing people to pass laws to kill children up to birth. But then we complain when kids get shot in a school, and we say that you're killing our young children. But months ago, anyone under an age of certain weeks before they were born was not considered human. If they weren't considered human up to a certain amount of weeks, months ago, but now all of a sudden you're killing them up to the time they're being born. It's not a person's rights. It's murder. You're murdering children. That's what you're doing up to a certain amount of time. And then you turn around and you say that, but killing a woman and that's pregnant is considered murder of two people. I'm not understanding this whole thing, but it's just the horror that's coming out of this, the attack on each other, the way we treat each other. It's disgusting. It's horrible. The anger has gotten worse. The pressure is about to boil over. It's about to explode. I just want to crawl into a hole or go into a closet and just not come out. I want to go into seclusion and not come out and just not speak to anyone anymore. That's how bad it's gotten. We just don't care. We don't care about our employees. We don't care about our employees' bosses. We don't care about our companies we work for. We don't even try to organize ourselves. We don't even try to organize anything and do things the right way. We just do everything at the last minute, and we do everything off the fly of the handle. Just do everything on the fly, and it's just not even caring about anything anymore. It's disgusting. Something's going to give, and something's going to give very soon. And, it goes back to that scripture that I was telling people about several times. 2 Timothy 3, 1-5. This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasure more than lovers of God, having a form of godlessness, but denying the power thereof. From such turn away. Really, people? Really? If you're not seeing it, seriously? Hey everybody, don't forget to check out Reverse 96 FM on TuneIn, Streema, and now InternetRadio.com.